In industry or OT world, there are a number of controllers, PLC, DCS, in between which there is Modbus communication going on. And there is a often requirement to check whether the Modbus communication is working properly or not. And if you are commissioning a new system, then this checking is often becomes a part of the pre-commissioning activity. So in Modbus communication, there are two systems, two controller or two PCs between which the Modbus communication takes place. One of these two system is Modbus master and another one is Modbus slave. Modbus master can often called Modbus pole or Modbus client. On the other hand, Modbus slave is also synonymously called as Modbus server or Modbus slave. So if you have two system, one of the system you need to install the Modbus pole software. This pole and Modbus slave softwares are available in www.modbustools.com. So from there you can download, and in the master PC you need to download the Modbus pole, and in the slave PC you need to download the Modbus slave. Now, depending on your operating system, whether it is a 32-bit operating system or 64-bit operating system, you can download the two versions of the software. Now, I have already downloaded the Modbus pole here. So let me open the Modbus pole first. So this is the Modbus pole. As you can see, this is a Modbus pole, and there is no connection because I have not set up the Modbus slave yet. If you go to the connection section, you can click connect, and it is try yeah. So now here you can go, and in the connection section you will be finding number of options. So it provides you communication over serial port. It can be Modbus TCP/IP, Modbus UTP/IP, or Modbus RTU over TCP/IP, or and Modbus RTU over UTP/IP. So depending on the situation, you can choose. So for the trial purpose, we will be selecting Modbus TCP/IP. So when you are selecting Modbus TCP/IP, you see all the other options related to the Modbus RTU has been grayed out, like communication port, data rate, number of data. But when you again select serial port, all this communication, all these tabs are again gets highlighted. So anyway, we will be selecting Modbus TCP. This is the response timeout, which we have taken 1000 millisecond. You can change it to like 2000 millisecond. Delay between the poles, you can set it like 10 millisecond. Then or you can increase it to 30 millisecond. And then remote Modbus server, this is the server or the slave ID. So the server or slave IP address we need to put here. So as the trial purpose, I will be using the same laptop for checking both the software. I have given the local host address here, but in practice you need to put the actual IP address of the slave, and then the server port. So for the Modbus TCP IP communication, these ports are always the 502 port is being used. So this is the registered port. So this port has to be used. You can choose depending on the situation IP4 or IP6, but normally in our industrial OT world we choose IP4. So we need to choose IP4, and connection timeout we need to choose 3000. Then then press OK. Now you will see that as the Modbus slave has not been ready yet, so you will be getting a one connection error message. It is saying that Modbus TCP connection has failed. IP address 127 port 502 connection timeout. It has tried, but it has failed. Now again, uh, there is another software that is Modbus slave that you need to download depending on the 32-bit or 64-bit, and you need to install it in the slave PC. So here I am using the same computer, so let's open the slave also. Okay, so these are the Modbus pole and this is the slave. Now next set up the slave. So again you can choose the connection TCP IP and all other options are gray out. In this case you see there is no requirement of the connection timeout or anything. All these settings are done by the master portion. You no need to give IP address also, uh, because the master will initiate the communication. It will first send the query and then the data will flow. So it again this is not required, and port number is 502 and it is IP4. So if you click OK, the communication between the slave and master has been established. Now again I need to connect it. Yeah, now you see the no connection message has gone. Now the connection has been established. Now I can put any value here, and I can see that the value is also getting in the master. So if you see against the number 2, it is getting the value 6. Okay, now I can put it in the auto. I can put value in any other section also, like I put the value 7 here, and then I can make it auto increment. So you can see it is incrementing automatically like 10 11, and you are seeing the same value here, 13 14, the same value. So in this way you can establish communication and check whether the communication is really happening between these two or not. And you can do a lot of other things within it. So before you establish actual communication, so this is a very handy tool. I think you need to use it if you are facing problems with the Modbus communication or want to know more about the Modbus communication. It is a very good tool to use. So there are lots of other options here, how the data is flowing. All this option you can see here. So you can say this is the communication traffic you can see here. Okay, that's it for this video.